Hello, today is Friday, yay, and it is January 10th. Our big topic for today is our discussion that we're having, so I'm sorry that you're missing that. Our word today is reservation. So it's an area of land set aside by the federal government for the use of American Indian tribes. We have several reservations here in Minnesota. And the word reservation, like you can use it in other ways too. The word if you're reserved, if you reserve a table, you're setting aside a table. If you are a reserved personality, it means that you don't typically share out a lot of information. You set it aside. So that's why reservation makes sense, that this is a land set aside for a certain group. And you could Google a picture of land, that reservation land, here in Minnesota. We have several tribes in Minnesota. Our target for today is to actively participate in the group discussion. Explain how you did or did not actively participate. And we'll talk about that in just a second. So we did our target. Name signs. You'll need to make one of these before our next discussion. Basically just is a nameplate where you write your name on one side and there are some sentence starters on the other. So talk to me and we'll get you one of those made. We're going to preview the reflection form and talk about active participation. Active participation is where you actively are involved in the conversation. So what does that mean? It sounds like you sharing information. More than just I agree. It's I agree or I disagree with, or providing something to bring the conversation moving forward. Not to stop it, because you can say something where that ends the conversation, or you can talk where it invites other people to share in. So you're connecting with what other people have to say. So you're actively helping the conversation move forward in a direction. It can move off to the side, it can move forward, it can move to the other side, but you're helping contribute to the conversation. It can also sound pretty quiet, like you thinking about, what's being said and you're actively listening. We want that to turn into you saying something. Then don't hear me as saying that you can just not participate, not say anything. But it is thinking as well. You're listening to what other people have to say, and then that's allowing you to then say something and to help the conversation move forward. So keep that in mind as well, is that it's actively listening and hearing what the other, really truly hearing what the other person has to say, but then it's taking that and making it into something where you participate and say something. The other part of this step is the reflection sheet, and that actually is a Google form, and you're going to find that in Schoology. I don't want you to fill that out because you weren't there, which is too bad. But what it looks like, so it's right here, Heart of the Appaloosa reflection form. And when you click into it, it'll look a little different than mine because I've got an editable. But there are just questions about the discussion that I want us to answer. How did our group goal go in actively participating, talking about that, my individual goal, and we set one of those before we got started as well. And then what'd you learn by this discussion? All stuff that it's hard for you to do since you weren't here, but just know it's routine that we'll do this for each one. So that is just, that part. And then just some things to set us up, like a review of the rules and and that's listed right here. We talked about them now twice that is not the rules. Here are the rules popping up here in a second. What we do in seminars. Okay. And then what you do when you're not in the inner circle and you're talking. On the outer circle, we listen, and we're going to be documenting what people, how in the inner circle they participate, to try to see how we did. So that's what you'll be doing on the outer circle. For you today, since you are not here, make sure you get your reading guide done and that you read the text a few times. And again, the reading guide we got this yesterday, and so just answering your questions about your sections. If you're unsure your verses, let me know, but we will be turning this sheet in as part of your participation. So hopefully you'll be here next week for our next discussion. that we'll be having so that you can experience what discussion is like. All right, so it's a lot of in-class stuff today. I'm sorry that you were gone. I hope we'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend, and as always, email me if you have any questions.